The emergency session hall of the Galactic Council was louder than ever before. The air itself seemed to tremble with worry and fear. 43 different alien species sat in the great circular chamber, their strange forms glowing, breathing, or moving in ways no human could imagine. The council met only when something truly serious happened. And today, something very serious had happened. At the center of the hall stood War Master Cather, the leader of the Vray Dominion. His body was covered in dark silver armor, and his forearms were crossed tightly across his chest. His voice echoed like metal striking stone. Someone explain this madness. A ship that large cannot exist. Not even the Zenthri could build such a thing. The words made the chamber fall silent. Everyone turned to the small section in the back, the human delegation area. Only one human sat there. Ambassador Chen Wei. His calm face hid a storm of thoughts. The seat beside him was empty. Earth usually sent 2 people to council meetings, but today, his partner was missing. Chen's fingers tapped slowly on the table as the other species whispered among themselves. Humans cannot build such a vessel. They control only 7 star systems. How could they hide it? Maybe it's not theirs. Maybe it's something worse. The council lights flickered for a second, as if the whole building was nervous too. Cather leaned forward, his red eyes glowing. Ambassador Chen Wei, he said slowly, your planet has been silent for too long. Now, scanners report a massive object leaving your solar system. It is larger than a moon. What has Earth done? Chen looked up, his calm voice breaking the tension. War Master, Earth has done what it always does, survive. Before anyone could respond, a deep humming sound echoed through the chamber. The council's massive holographic screens came to life on their own. Lines of alien code and red warnings flashed across the air. Incoming transmission. Source, Sol System. The crowd gasped. No one had authorized such a link. The signal was powerful, too powerful. The walls of the chamber vibrated under its energy. A voice came through, calm and unmistakably human. To the Galactic Council, this is the Earth Defense Command. You have ignored our warnings. Now, you will see the truth. The screen shifted. What appeared next froze everyone in place. A giant shadow moved slowly across the sun of the Sol system. The image zoomed out, and the chamber filled with gasps and cries. Floating above Earth was a ship so large it made even the planet below look small. Its design was unlike anything known. Smooth, dark, and silent, it looked more like a mountain of night than a vessel. Its engines glowed with a faint blue light, like the breath of a sleeping god. Mass reading impossible, said the automated translator. Estimated length, 15,000 kilometers. Cather slammed his fist on the table. This is a weapon. Earth is violating the Galactic Defense Treaty. But Chen Wei remained calm. He slowly stood up, his face half-lit by the holographic glow. You call it a weapon, War Master. We call it a shield. Silence filled the room again. The other delegates stared at him, confused and afraid. A shield, the Zenthri representative hissed. A shield that can block starlight. Chen did not answer. Instead, he placed a small silver device on the table. It blinked once, and a 3-dimensional image appeared, a closer look at the massive human ship. Letters glowed on its side, USS Leviathan. This, Chen said quietly, is Earth's answer to 23 years of humiliation. We remember the blockade of our colonies. We remember the raids that no one stopped. And we remember when this council called us too weak to defend ourselves. For a moment, the entire council hall felt smaller. Every species realized what this meant. Humanity, the quiet, underestimated race, had built something the galaxy thought impossible. Cather's voice grew harsh. You mean to threaten us with this monster? No, Chen said. Earth threatens no one. But we will never be threatened again. Then the chamber's lights flickered once more. The holographic screens changed again, this time showing a fleet of smaller ships moving around the Leviathan. Each was the size of a city. The voice from Earth returned. To all council members, do not be afraid. The Leviathan is a vessel of peace. But peace is not given, it is kept. The signal cut off. Silence returned, heavier than before. Cather finally spoke, his tone quiet now, almost uncertain. If that ship truly exists, the balance of power is gone. Chen turned to leave the chamber. As he walked away, he stopped for just a moment and said, "War Master, balance was never real. You simply mistook our patience for weakness." The doors closed behind him. The council remained in stunned silence. Somewhere in the galaxy, the Leviathan moved quietly through the stars, its shadow stretching across worlds. And for the first time in history, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Humanity had been silent for a reason. The Galactic Council chamber stayed silent long after Ambassador Chen Wei left. No one spoke. No one moved. Even the air felt heavier. The image of the massive human ship, the Leviathan, still floated in the minds of every being present. For decades, humans had been called the young race. Weak. Naive. Brave, yes, but not powerful. They were explorers, not warriors. Builders, not conquerors. That was what the galaxy believed. Now that belief was broken. Across the stars, every major faction began to send spies, reports, and warnings. Some said the humans had found an ancient alien technology buried on Mars. Others whispered that they had made a deal with something outside the galaxy. But no one knew the truth. And far away, on the blue and green world called Earth, people already knew this day would change everything. In a small underground base beneath the ruins of an old launch station, a group of humans watched the same council broadcast replayed on their screens. Soldiers, engineers, scientists, all in silence. An older woman, Admiral Sophia Reyes, stood at the front. Her uniform was black, simple, marked only with a small silver insignia, a circle divided by a single line. The symbol of Project Aegis. She looked at her team. "So, the galaxy has seen our work," she said softly. "Let them wonder. We built the Leviathan to keep peace, not to start a war." A young technician turned toward her. Council transmissions are showing panic. The Vray fleet is mobilizing. Should we prepare defensive positions?" Reyes smiled faintly. "They are afraid, Lieutenant. Fear makes noise. Let them shout. We will remain silent, as we always have." The room nodded in agreement. Humanity had learned to be quiet. After all, quiet people survive the longest. 23 years earlier, when humans first joined the Galactic Council, they had come with open hands and bright eyes. They offered trade, culture, and friendship. But what they received was betrayal. During the Outer Rim disputes, human colonies had been attacked, not by pirates, but by Council-approved fleets. The Council called it a territorial misunderstanding. Millions died. No punishment came. So, Earth decided never to rely on others again. From that pain, Project Aegis was born, a secret effort to ensure humanity would never again beg for protection. Scientists hid their work on moons and asteroids, deep in gravity wells where no sensor could scan. For 2 decades, they built in silence. The galaxy forgot about humanity's anger. It laughed at their small fleets, their outdated ships, their slow progress. But every insult only made the humans work harder. Back at the Galactic Council, the chaos continued. War Master Cather struck the table with his metal claws. The humans must be investigated immediately. That ship could destroy entire systems. A tall being made of blue mist, the Lumina delegate, replied in a calm tone. "You saw what their ambassador said, War Master. They called it a shield, not a sword. A shield that large is still a weapon." Cather roared. If the Vray Dominion built such a thing, this council would already have declared war. The other species murmured in agreement and fear. None of them wanted war with Earth. None of them truly understood what humans were capable of. Then, from the shadows of the chamber, an old voice spoke. It was Archon Dren, the oldest member of the council, from the crystalline race of the Crowan. "You call them weak," Dren said, his voice echoing like glass. "But weakness is not their curse. It is their weapon. They have used it well." The others turned toward him. "Explain yourself," said Cather. "When a race is ignored," Dren continued, "it watches. When it is insulted, it listens. When it is forgotten, it learns. And when the time is right, it remembers." The hall fell quiet again. Somewhere beyond council space, a group of Ray warships prepared to move toward the Sol system. Their captain, Cortal, laughed as he watched the image of the Leviathan. A human ship this large? Impossible, he said. Our plasma lances will melt it before we even reach orbit. But one of his officers hesitated. Sir, what if the rumors are true? Rumors are for the weak. Prepare the fleet. The Dominion will show the humans what real war looks like. Yet even as he spoke, something strange happened. Their navigation screens flickered, and a shadow passed in front of their ship. A massive object appeared on sensors for a brief moment, then vanished. What was that? The officer whispered. No one answered. Back on Earth, Admiral Reyes received a message. A simple line of text from Ambassador Chen Wei. Phase 2 is ready. Reyes nodded. Good, she said quietly. Let the galaxy talk. We'll give them something worth talking about. She turned toward the massive window overlooking the launch bay. There, hidden under the ground, thousands of drones and smaller ships waited. They were silent, painted black like the void itself. The Admiral spoke to herself. They called us the forgotten race. But sometimes, being forgotten is the best place to begin. Outside, the Leviathan continued its slow journey across the stars, its engines glowing softly, like a warning or a promise. And in every corner of the galaxy, one question spread like wildfire. What else are the humans hiding? 3 days after the Leviathan's first appearance, the galaxy still could not stop talking about it. Every news channel, every military network, every encrypted channel whispered the same question. What is Earth planning? In the cold depths of space, far beyond the borders of human territory, hundreds of spy satellites turned their lenses toward the Sol system. But one by one, they stopped sending signals. Some simply vanished. Others sent back only static. It was as if a great shadow had fallen over the entire system. At the Galactic Council, tension had reached a breaking point. The main chamber was full again, but this time, no one shouted. Everyone spoke in low, nervous tones. Warmaster Cather paced like a caged beast. They are hiding something, he growled. The humans are blocking all scans. Our fleets can't even get close. Their new ship, it's surrounded by some kind of field. Across from him, the Lumina delegate shimmered like smoke in light. Perhaps we should ask them directly, it said calmly. Fear will only push them to act faster. Cather slammed his clawed hand against the table. Ask them. We should control them. Before it's too late. But before he could say more, a sound filled the chamber, a sharp, rhythmic beeping. The council's central display lit up with a single red alert. Unidentified signal detected, the AI announced. Origin, Sol system. All eyes turned toward the holographic map in the center of the room. A red pulse appeared, spreading outward from Earth's position like a ripple in water. Signal strength increasing. Pattern, not random. The pulse spread farther and farther, until it reached the outer rim of known space. Then it stopped. Transmission complete. The screen went dark. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the Zenthri representative, a tall, insect-like being, hissed softly. It wasn't a weapon test. It was a message. Message? Asked the Lumina delegate. What kind of message travels across half the galaxy? The chamber lights flickered again. A second later, the Council's translation systems activated on their own. The signal had been decoded. A voice began to speak, human, calm, familiar. This is Earth Defense Command. To all Council worlds, do not approach the Sol system. This is a restricted zone. Any armed vessel crossing the line will be considered hostile. We seek peace, but peace has boundaries. Then silence. Cather stared at the hologram, his mandibles twitching. Peace with boundaries, he repeated. They dare to speak like conquerors. But Arkandren, the old crystalline being, spoke softly. Perhaps they are not conquering. Perhaps they are protecting something. Meanwhile, in orbit above Neptune, the Leviathan moved like a slow storm. Its black hull shimmered with faint energy waves. Around it, hundreds of smaller ships patrolled silently. Inside the command bridge, Admiral Sophia Reyes stood before a vast screen showing the galaxy's edge. A young officer approached her. The signal has been sent. Council channels are silent for now. But Vray fleets are gathering near neutral space. Reyes nodded. Let them gather. They will come, curious as always. The officer hesitated. Do we all plan to engage? Not yet, she said quietly. Let them see what's waiting for them first. She turned to look at the Leviathan's core, a glowing sphere surrounded by magnetic rings, pulsing like a heartbeat. Inside it was the secret that no alien had ever seen, the Aegis core, a fusion of human engineering and something older, something found deep beneath the surface of Mars 20 years ago. Reyes whispered to herself. The galaxy thinks we built this from metal and power. They still don't understand what we found. Back at the council, the signal caused chaos. Reports arrived every hour. 3 Vray fleets are on the move. Zenthri Recon ships have vanished near the border. Lumina probes report gravitational distortions near Neptune. Cather roared again. They are preparing for war. That signal was a warning, a challenge. But Chen Wei, who had just entered the chamber again, spoke before anyone else. You misunderstand, he said softly. It was not a challenge. It was a line. We ask you not to cross it. Cather pointed at him angrily. You cannot draw lines in the stars. The galaxy does not belong to you. Chen smiled slightly. No, War Master. It belongs to all of us. But we will protect our part, as you protect yours. He paused, then added. You speak of fear, but fear is not what you should feel. What comes next is evolution. Before anyone could question him, he turned and left again, leaving behind only silence. Far from all this noise, on the edge of council space, Captain Kor Tao's Vray fleet moved closer to the neutral zone. Suddenly, their radar screens flashed red. A massive object appeared ahead, not 1, but 3. By the stars, Kor whispered. 3 human ships emerged from the void. Smaller than the Leviathan, but still massive, each one shaped like a black arrow. Their engines burned blue. Identify yourselves, Kor demanded over the comms. No response. Then, a calm human voice spoke through static. Vray Fleet 7, you are entering restricted space. Turn back now. Kor laughed. We don't take orders from lesser races. The human voice paused. Then you leave us no choice. In an instant, the stars around the Vray fleet bent, light itself twisting. Every weapon on their ships went offline. Every system froze. What's happening? Shouted Kor's crew. And then, nothing. All 37 Vray ships hung silently in space, engines dead, weapons useless. A final message appeared on their screens. This is your only warning. The human ships vanished back into the void. Back at the council, new reports flooded in. Entire Vray fleet disabled, no casualties, ships unharmed. Cather's claws dug into the table. They are toying with us. But Arkandren whispered again, his crystal body glowing faintly. No. They are showing mercy. And that, War Master, is far more dangerous. The Leviathan drifted through space like a dark moon, silent and calm. Its hull reflected no light. From a distance, it looked like a piece of the night sky had come alive. For a week, it had stayed inside human territory, unmoving, watching, waiting. But now, it was moving. Deep inside the command bridge, Admiral Sophia Reyes stood in front of the central screen. Her crew worked quietly around her. Every movement, every word, was careful and exact. Course locked, Admiral, said one of the officers. Destination, Zenthra Neutral Zone. Reyes nodded. Engage. Slow burn. No weapons online. The engines came to life with a low, deep hum that seemed to vibrate through space itself. From afar, thousands of scanners picked up the movement, and the galaxy held its breath. At the Galactic Council, panic erupted again. The human ship is moving, shouted one voice. It's entering neutral territory, cried another. War Master Cather slammed his armored hand on the table. They are provoking us. They dare to bring that monster near our borders. But Arkandren, the ancient crystal being, raised a hand. Perhaps, They wish to talk. Talk. Cather hissed. They are making a show of power. Chen Wei, the human ambassador, stood silently as the council argued. Then he spoke, calm and direct. You wanted answers. The Leviathan is moving to Zenthra to meet you, all of you. Earth is ready for a real conversation. The chamber fell quiet. You expect us to walk into their trap? Asked the Zenthri representative. No, Chen replied. You expect to walk into war. We expect peace. The difference will depend on how you arrive. He turned and left the chamber once again, leaving behind only tension and questions. 3 days later, the Leviathan arrived in orbit above the moon Zenthra 4, a world used for diplomatic summits. A massive platform had been built there for neutral meetings. Now it was surrounded by hundreds of ships, Zenthri cruisers, Vray destroyers, Lumina drones, Crowan guardians, and even small human escorts. The sky above Zenthra glowed with the light of so many engines. For a moment, no one moved. Every ship's weapon systems were online, yet none fired. The Leviathan just floated there, silent. Its black surface absorbed light, its hull pulsing with faint blue patterns like veins under skin. Then a voice echoed across all open channels, calm, human, and strong. This is Admiral Sophia Reyes of the United Earth Defense Command. We come to speak. We will not fire unless fired upon. Her words carried a strange weight. Even the most war-hungry commanders hesitated. Inside his command ship, War Master Cather growled. So, this is their admiral, he said. Arrogant as the rest. His second-in-command looked uneasy. Sir, our sensors cannot read inside that ship. Its energy field blocks everything. We don't even know where its engines are. Cather bared his teeth. Then let's find out. He opened the comm channel. Admiral Reyes. This is War Master Cather of the Vray Dominion. You have entered neutral space with a weapon the size of a moon. Explain yourself, or we will consider this an act of war. For a moment, only static replied. Then Reyes' voice returned. War Master, we have no interest in war. We only wish for the truth to be seen. You've called us weak for decades. Today, you will understand how wrong you were. Are you threatening the council? Cather snapped. No, Reyes said. I'm inviting them to witness. At that moment, the Leviathan's outer hull began to shift. Massive panels rotated and folded away, revealing a huge circular structure beneath the ship, a ring of light stretching thousands of meters wide. Energy began to pulse through it, bright and smooth. Council ships raised their shields instantly. Weapons charging, shouted several captains. But instead of firing, the ring projected something, a holographic image, large enough to cover the moon below. It showed scenes from the past, human colonies burning, refugees fleeing, alien fleets ignoring their cries for help. The council watched in silence as the truth played out before them. Then, the projection changed. It showed what Earth had built, shipyards hidden behind asteroid belts, scientists working in underground labs, people uniting under one cause, never again. For years, said Reyes' voice, you saw us as small. You forgot that small things grow when they are cornered. You forgot that patience builds strength. Her tone remained calm, not angry, but heavy with meaning. The Leviathan is not built to destroy. It is built to protect. To end the cycle of fear and war. We will not conquer. But we will never kneel again. Inside the council's observation ship, Arkandren watched the display with silent awe. They have turned pain into power, he whispered. But Cather was furious. This is propaganda. They think we'll be moved by their story. He ordered his fleet to target the Leviathan's shield with a scanning pulse. A massive beam of energy struck the human ship and vanished. No explosion. No light. Just silence. Every system that fired the beam instantly shut down. Ships drifted helplessly. What happened? Shouted Cather. A human voice replied through the comms. Please refrain from hostile scans. We do not wish to respond. The message wasn't angry. It was almost gentle, and somehow, that made it worse. Back on the bridge of the Leviathan, Reyes looked at the silent enemy ships. Stand down, she said. Do not retaliate. They've seen enough. She turned toward her officers. Send the message to the Council, Earth is ready to negotiate. But we will do so as equals. From that day on, the galaxy would remember this encounter not as a battle, but as a warning. The humans had arrived, calm, patient, and unshakable. They had come not to destroy, but to prove something. That peace, when backed by strength, becomes impossible to ignore. And in the deep silence of space, the Leviathan turned slowly, its engines glowing like a new sun. The galaxy was watching. The meeting above Zenthra had changed everything. Across the galaxy, every major power was silent. No one dared to attack the humans now. But silence in the galaxy was never peace, it was only fear wearing a mask. The Leviathan returned to human space, gliding through the void like a mountain made of darkness. Inside, Admiral Sophia Reyes stood before a vast holographic map. Dozens of star systems glowed red, marking human colonies still scarred from the wars of the past. Her second-in-command, Commander Hayes, walked up beside her. The Council is requesting a private transmission, Admiral. They want answers about the ship. Reyes folded her arms. They've wanted answers for years. Now they'll get one, just not the one they expect. Scene 1. The Hidden Truth. Far below the Leviathan's surface, deep in its core, lay a chamber few humans had ever seen. The Aegis core pulsed with quiet light, a sphere of energy surrounded by magnetic rings that moved like planets around a star. Reyes stepped inside, her boots echoing on the metal floor. A scientist turned from a console. It was Dr. Arun Malik, one of the engineers who had helped build the Leviathan. You shouldn't be here without protection, Admiral, he warned. The radiation field is active. I'm not staying long, she replied. Tell me again, what exactly is inside that core? Malik hesitated. He looked at the glowing sphere, its surface shimmering like liquid light. Not what, Admiral, he said quietly. Who? Reyes frowned. Explain. Malik tapped a panel. A holographic recording appeared, a dusty cave under the surface of Mars 23 years ago. A group of miners stood around a massive black object, half buried in red dust. Symbols shimmered faintly across its surface, not human, not alien, but something older. We found it during the first Martian expansion, Malik said. The Council told us to ignore it, said it was dangerous. But Earth was desperate. We studied it in secret. We called it Project Aegis. The hologram shifted again, showing human scientists working for decades to unlock the object's secrets. Then, one image froze the Admiral's breath. Inside the object, a crystalline structure shaped like a heart, pulsing with slow, steady light. It wasn't just technology, Malik continued. It was alive. A form of energy intelligence, ancient, silent, but aware. It called itself the Architect. Reyes turned toward him sharply. You're saying the Leviathan has a mind? Yes, Malik said softly. And it chose to help us. It said humanity reminded it of itself. Scene 2. The Revelation to the Council. Hours later, the Galactic Council gathered again, this time by secure transmission. The faces of 43 species filled the holographic chamber. At the center stood Ambassador Chen Wei. He began without hesitation. The Leviathan is not a weapon, he said. It is a guardian, a living alliance between human creation and something much older. War Master Cather snarled. You expect us to believe a story about ancient machines and living ships. Chen smiled faintly. Believe what you want, War Master. But understand this, Earth no longer stands alone. He pressed a control. The council chamber filled with light. The holographic image of the Aegis core appeared, glowing, massive, alive. Every delegate leaned forward as a faint, melodic voice echoed across the room. We are Aegis. We are the Architect. Humanity awakened us. They showed us mercy when others would have destroyed. In return, we gave them strength. For the first time in memory, the entire council was speechless. The Lumina delegate whispered, its form trembling like smoke in a breeze. It speaks. Yes, Chen said. It speaks. And it remembers. Scene 3. The Confession. Admiral Reyes appeared on the screen beside Chen. You wanted the truth, she said. Here it is. 23 years ago, we asked for help, and you ignored us. So we turned inward. We built something to protect us from you, and from anything worse that might be out there." She paused, her eyes steady. "The Leviathan can destroy worlds, yes. But it was not made for that. Its true power is control. It can disable fleets, block signals, even bend gravity. But it never kills unless it must." War Master Cather leaned forward. "You think this makes you gods?" "No," Reyes said quietly. "It makes us survivors." Scene 4, The Whisper Beyond the Stars. As the Council processed the revelation, a low alarm began to echo through the Leviathan's bridge. "Admiral," said Hayes, "we're receiving a signal. Not from any known system." Reyes frowned. "Source?" "Outside the galactic rim. Frequency pattern matches, the Aegis core." The glowing sphere deep in the ship began to pulse faster, as if it had heard the call of something far away. "Message decoded," said the AI. "Translation, we are not the last." The bridge fell silent. Even Reyes could feel a chill run through her. "Not the last," she repeated softly. "Then who else is out there?" Scene 5, The Council's Choice. Back in the council chamber, chaos returned. Some wanted to ally with Earth immediately. Others demanded the Leviathan be dismantled. Arkandren, the Crystal Elder, raised his voice above the rest. "Fools! Do you not see what this means? The humans may have awakened something older than all of us. If they found one, there could be more." His words silenced the chamber. "If these architects are real," the Lumina delegate said slowly, "then perhaps humanity was chosen for a reason." Chen Wei looked directly into the camera. "We did not seek to be chosen," he said. "But now that we are, we will not run from it." As the meeting ended, the Leviathan drifted silently at the edge of Earth's orbit, its lights flickering like distant thunderclouds. Deep inside, the Aegis core pulsed one final time, sending another faint signal into the darkness beyond the galaxy. And for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council agreed on something. They were no longer the most advanced beings in existence. The galaxy was holding its breath. After the revelation of the Leviathan and the Aegis core, every star system was awake. Some called the humans liars. Others called them chosen. But everyone agreed on one thing: they needed proof. The Galactic Council demanded a demonstration. Admiral Sophia Reyes received the message in her command room. The transmission was short and cold. "Show us the Leviathan's true power, or surrender it to Council control." Reyes stood still for a long moment, then whispered, "They still think power means destruction." Scene 1, The Test Begins. 3 days later, the demonstration took place near the neutral zone of Sereth Belt, a dead region between human and alien space. Over 50 warships gathered, Zenthri cruisers, Vray destroyers, Lumina dreadnoughts, all circling a single massive human vessel, the Leviathan. On the Council's orders, the aliens would attack in simulation mode, no real weapons, only energy patterns that mimicked battle conditions. But no one trusted anyone else. Hidden weapons were ready. Shields were hot. The void itself felt tense. Inside the Leviathan's bridge, the crew waited quietly. Commander Hayes broke the silence. 50 ships against 1. That's a message, not a test. Admiral Reyes gave a small smile. "Then let's send one back." The lights dimmed as the Aegis core came online. Its deep pulse echoed through the ship like a heartbeat. "Core status, stable," said the ship's AI. "Awaiting activation order." Reyes took a breath. "Activate Aegis field. Full containment, no lethal force." Scene 2, The Storm of Silence. Outside, the Leviathan began to glow, faint blue rings expanding around it, slow and perfect, like ripples in water. At first, nothing happened. Then, one by one, alien ships started losing control. "Our targeting systems are down," cried a Zenthri captain. "Navigation failure," shouted another. "Weapons offline, completely offline." Within 30 seconds, the entire fleet hung frozen in space, powerless and silent. The Leviathan hadn't fired a single shot. From the Council's observation station, War Master Cather slammed his claws against the console. "What have they done?" Ambassador Chen, standing nearby, watched calmly. They've turned your entire fleet into statues. Cather hissed. This is sorcery. Chen looked at him. No. This is what happens when you underestimate humans for 23 years. Scene 3, The Message of Power. On the Leviathan's bridge, Reyes received a direct communication request from the Council observers. She nodded and accepted. The holographic faces of dozens of alien leaders appeared before her. Admiral Reyes, said the Lumina delegate, its glowing form flickering nervously. You have disabled an entire armada in less than a minute. What is the purpose of this weapon? Reyes looked calm, her voice steady. You call it a weapon because that's all you understand. But the Leviathan is not built to kill. It's built to control chaos. She pointed toward the vast screen showing the silent ships. Every one of those vessels is unharmed. Their crews are alive. The systems can be restored with a single command. That's our message. Warmaster Cather appeared on the screen, his tone filled with restrained rage. And what message is that, human? Reyes looked directly at him. That humanity does not need to destroy to win. Scene 4, The Awakening Core. But then, something unexpected happened. The Aegis core began to pulse faster. The lights on the bridge flickered. A deep vibration spread through the ship. Admiral, the AI warned, the core is responding to an external signal. Source? Reyes demanded. Unknown. Beyond Council range. Frequency matches the earlier message, we are not the last. Reyes' heart tightened. Can we block it? Negative. Signal strength increasing. Suddenly, the Leviathan sensors picked up something enormous, far out, beyond the belt's edge. A distortion. A ripple in space itself. Hayes whispered. It's something big. Much bigger than us. On the council screens, delegates stared as the space beyond the Leviathan began to bend and twist. A massive shadow appeared, shaped like a colossal ring. Symbols glowed across its surface, the same as those found on Mars years ago. The Aegis Core's voice echoed softly through every speaker. They have awakened. Scene 5, The Choice. Every ship in the fleet, alien and human alike, went silent. No one moved. No one fired. Reyes stood at the front of her bridge, eyes locked on the strange ring structure now fully visible. This isn't part of the test anymore, Hayes said quietly. No, Reyes replied. It's the real thing. The core's voice grew calm again. Admiral, a transmission from the structure. Put it through. The voice that filled the ship was soft, layered, ancient. To the children of the small blue world, we remember the ones who came before. The ones who fled. You carry their light. Prepare yourselves. The path will open soon. Then the signal vanished. The massive ring shimmered once, and disappeared. The Leviathan's lights dimmed back to normal. All the frozen alien ships slowly regained power. Admiral Reyes looked out at the stars. They weren't testing us, she said. They were warning us. Scene 6, The End of the Demonstration. The Council's final report simply read. The human ship, Leviathan, demonstrated non-lethal total fleet control capability. Unknown external interference detected. Further investigation required. But everyone in that room knew the truth. The demonstration had shown not only humanity's power, but that something far greater had just noticed them. Ambassador Chen stood by the viewing window, watching Earth's small blue glow in the distance. He whispered to himself. We wanted proof of power, and now we have it. Maybe too much of it. The galaxy could not sleep. Every world, every fleet, every council hall replayed the same message again and again. The path will open soon. No one knew what it meant. But everyone could feel it. Something was coming. Scene 1, The Calm Before the Storm. A week after the demonstration, the Leviathan floated silently near the edge of human space. Admiral Sophia Reyes stood by the main viewport, watching the stars drift slowly across the black. Her crew worked quietly, but the tension was heavy. Everyone had seen the massive ring that appeared and vanished. Everyone knew that was no hallucination. Commander Hayes approached, holding a datapad. Status report, Admiral. The Council has ordered all human fleets on high alert. They're scared. Reyes smiled faintly. They should be. Fear is the first step to understanding. Hayes frowned. You really think this architect thing isn't done with us yet? No, Reyes said softly. I think it's just getting started. Scene 2, the signal returns. Suddenly, alarms echoed across the bridge. Unidentified signal detected, shouted the sensor officer. Same frequency as before, but stronger. Much stronger. Reyes turned. Location. Everywhere, Admiral. It's coming from all directions. The lights dimmed. The Aegis core inside the ship began to glow on its own, pulsing faster and faster. Then, a low, harmonic sound filled the air, not mechanical, not digital. It felt alive. Core activation, automatic, said the AI. External synchronization beginning. Hayes gripped the console. Synchronization with what? Before anyone could answer, the stars outside began to move. Scene 3, the sky changes. One by one, stars around the Leviathan started to flicker, like candles being covered by an invisible hand. Then, strange shapes began to appear. Massive rings, like the one they had seen before, unfolded silently from the darkness. Not one. Not two. 17. Each ring glowed with ancient runes, rotating slowly in perfect formation. The entire galaxy could see it. From Zenthri colonies to Lumina temples, every telescope and scanner showed the same impossible sight, rings appearing across space, connected by threads of light. A transmission came through the Leviathan's main screen. A soft white light formed into a humanoid figure. Its face was smooth, without features, yet somehow, kind. Children of the new dawn, the voice said. You have awakened what was lost. You carry the legacy of the first builders. Reyes stepped forward. Who are you? We are the remnants, it said. Keepers of the architect's path. Long ago, we left this galaxy, waiting for a species brave enough to rise again. Scene 4, humanity tested. The figure continued. The architect chose your kind, not for your power, but for your defiance. When others bowed to extinction, you fought. You adapted. You endured. Now, you must prove you are worthy to walk the path we once walked. Reyes' eyes narrowed. What kind of test? The figure raised a hand, and the space around them changed. The Leviathan and its crew were suddenly surrounded by light, an artificial star field forming around them. You will face what destroyed us, said the remnant. Survive it, and the gate will open. Then the light vanished, replaced by a black, swirling mass forming at the edge of the simulation. The sensors screamed. Admiral, something's forming, massive energy signature. It's pulling matter out of space itself. A shape emerged, a creature of darkness, made of shifting shadow and burning eyes. It was not a ship. It was alive. Hayes whispered. What in the hell is that? The past, Reyes said quietly. Their enemy. Scene 5, the battle begins. The Leviathan's shields flared as the creature released a wave of energy. The crew fell to the floor, alarms blaring. Shields at 60%. Structural integrity failing. Reyes shouted. Counterattack, plasma cannons, full spread. Dozens of glowing blue blasts tore through the darkness, but the creature absorbed them, growing stronger. It feeds on energy. Malik shouted from the engineering deck. Every hit makes it stronger. Reyes clenched her fists. Then we need something different. She turned to the Aegis core. Core, can you analyze the target? The glowing sphere pulsed in response. Confirmed. Entity composed of antimatter and void energy. Counter frequency available. Do it. The core glowed brighter, and then unleashed a wave of pure white light. The creature screamed, its form twisting and breaking apart. But even as it vanished, another appeared, and another. It's endless. Hayes shouted. Reyes stared at the screen, determination in her eyes. Then we fight endless with eternal. Scene 6, the core unleashed. For the first time, the Leviathan released its full power. The Aegis core opened like a blooming flower, 7 rings expanding, creating a blinding sphere of light around the ship. A sound like thunder rolled through the void. Every shadow creature froze. Then, one by one, they disintegrated, their energy pulled into the core itself. When it was over, only silence remained. The Leviathan floated alone in the artificial star field. The remnant's voice returned. You have passed the first gate. The darkness feared you, because you remind it of us. Reyes steadied her breath. What happens now? Now, humanity chooses. Follow us beyond the galaxy, or stay and face what comes next. The image faded. The rings in space began to align, forming a vast doorway of light. Scene 7, The Decision. Back on the bridge, silence filled the air. Hayes turned to Reyes. We just fought something we don't even understand. And now they want us to leave the galaxy. Reyes looked at the glowing gate outside. Maybe leaving is the only way to survive. Malik's voice came through the comms. Or maybe it's a trap, Admiral. We don't know who these remnants really are. Reyes smiled faintly. We'll find out. She raised her hand. Prepare the ship. Set course for the gate. The Leviathan turned slowly toward the light, humanity's greatest ship, moving toward the unknown. As it entered the glowing threshold, the stars behind it faded away. Only one message remained in the Council's datalog, broadcast automatically from the Leviathan before it vanished. We go not as conquerors, but as seekers. If we do not return, remember us. The stars disappeared. For a moment, there was only white light, bright, endless, and silent. Then, slowly, darkness returned, but it was not the same darkness they had left behind. The Leviathan drifted into a sky filled with colors no human eye had ever seen. Blue suns burned beside crimson clouds. Silver lightning danced across the horizon of a distant planet. And at the center of it all, a massive structure floated, a city in space, larger than any world. The Gate of the Architects. Scene 1, A New Galaxy. Admiral Sophia Reyes stood before the viewing screen, speechless. Her crew stared in awe. Commander Hayes whispered, "Where are we?" The ship's AI replied, "Unknown galaxy. Energy readings beyond measurable limits. Atmosphere of surrounding planets, breathable. This place was made for life." Dr. Malik leaned forward. "You mean the architects built all this? This whole galaxy?" The Ari's voice softened. "Affirmative. This was their sanctuary, before the fall." Reyes exhaled slowly. "Then this is where it began." Scene 2, The City of Light. The Leviathan moved closer to the floating city. Dozens of shining towers curved into the shape of a spiral. Rivers of light flowed between them, like living veins. Suddenly, the same calm voice that had guided them before echoed through the ship. "Welcome, descendants of the first builders. You have crossed the gate of courage." Reyes stepped forward. "You said we carry their legacy. What did you mean?" The light around them pulsed, forming an image of a great war long ago. Massive fleets of glowing ships battled dark clouds filled with monstrous shapes. The sky burned. Planets shattered. "We created life to continue our purpose," said the voice. "When our kind fell, we scattered our seed among the stars, hoping one would rise again. You, the humans, are that seed." Hayes stared in disbelief. "You're saying humans came from them?" "Not directly," the voice replied. "But you were shaped by what we left behind, the same curiosity, the same defiance, the same will to survive. You are what we once were." Scene 3, The Warning. The glowing city dimmed for a moment, as if a shadow had passed over it. "But you must hurry," the voice continued. "The darkness that ended us is not gone. It grows again, feeding on fear, conflict, and chaos. It will return to your galaxy soon." Reyes' expression hardened. "Then we can't stay here." "No," the voice said softly. "You must prepare your kind. Unite them. The darkness cannot be destroyed, only resisted. The Leviathan is the first shield. Others will follow, if humanity chooses the path of builders, not conquerors." Reyes nodded slowly. "We'll warn them. We'll fight." The voice pulsed brighter. "Then you are ready." Scene 4, the gift. The ground beneath the Leviathan shimmered. A beam of pure light reached out, connecting to the Aegis core. Malik looked at his screen. Admiral, we're receiving data, enormous data. New designs, energy patterns, technology blueprints, entire cities. They're giving us everything, Hayes said in shock. The voice explained. A gift of creation. Knowledge, not weaponry. Use it to heal your world, not to rule others. Reyes looked up at the massive city of light. And you? What happens to you now? The voice paused. Our purpose is complete. You are the continuation of our story. The light began to fade, the towers dissolving into dust that shimmered like stars. Go, humans of Earth. Carry our memory. The future is yours now. Scene 5, the journey home. The Leviathan turned slowly. Behind it, the great gate began to close, its golden edges folding inward until only a thin line of light remained. Inside the ship, Reyes stood before her crew. Set course for home, she said. We have work to do. As the ship entered the gate once more, Malik whispered, Do you think anyone will believe us? Reyes smiled faintly. They won't have to. They'll see what we build. The Leviathan passed through the shrinking beam, and in a flash of light, vanished from the new galaxy. Scene 6, Epilogue, The Return. Months later, a bright streak appeared in the skies above Earth. The Leviathan had returned. But it was not the same ship. Its hull glowed with living patterns of light. The Aegis core hummed with quiet power. And carved across the side of the vessel, new words glowed in every language of the galaxy. From the ashes of the old, we build anew. News spread faster than light. The council called for an emergency meeting, but this time, Earth didn't send 2 representatives. It sent hundreds, scientists, builders, diplomats, all carrying new knowledge. For the first time, the galaxy looked to humanity not with fear, but with hope. Final scene, the whisper of the stars. Late that night, Admiral Reyes stood alone on the Leviathan's bridge, looking up at the stars. The Aegis core glowed gently beside her. We did it, she whispered. The core responded softly. The path continues, Admiral. The darkness still waits, but so does the dawn. Reyes smiled. Then we'll be ready. The camera would slowly pull back, showing Earth, glowing blue and bright against the black. The Leviathan drifting above it like a guardian. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, the faint whisper of the architects' voices fading into the cosmos. Humanity has risen. The builders have returned.